Hello friends, in this video we'll get introduced to a steady state error and also I'll tell you the types of steady state error in this. Let us begin. So far what we have studied is the system behavior in a transient part, and now I have to see the system behavior in a steady state part. So let me just have a classification here. So we study this system behavior in two parts. The first part is called as a transient part, and the remaining part is called as a steady state part. So let me tell you, so far whatever system behavior we have seen, it is nothing but the first part, which is a transient part, in which we have studied what is meant by a peak time, what is meant by a rise time, or what is meant by a delay time. Also we have seen the zeta variation and the system behavior, that is for zeta equal to 0 it is undamped, for zeta between 0 and 1 it is called as underdamped, for zeta greater than 1 it is overdamped, and for zeta equal to 1 it is a critically damped. So everything that we have studied so far is nothing but a transient part. Along with this we have seen how to calculate percentage MP and everything, and the remaining part that we have to see is nothing but a steady state part. So now we have to see how the system behaves once it gets into steady state. So once it gets into steady state, we have to see how system really behaves. So for example, for a particular plant means a system itself. So for a particular plant, let's say I have given this u of t as a reference input. You know that this is nothing but r of t, nothing but a reference input, and what we observe over here is nothing but a controlled output, that is nothing but c of t. If u of t is given as a reference, we want our c of t to behave as u of t. So our c of t should be ideally equal to u of t in steady state. So this is when the steady state comes, that is mathematically when t tends to infinity. This is nothing but considered as a final condition. So final condition for c of t should be equal to u of t. When it should be u of t? It is when the reference input is u of t. So if reference input is u of t, final value of c of t should be u of t, and this is what we call as system. Am I right? But then practically this may not be equal to u of t. So practically it might happen, even though time approaches to infinity, c of t is somehow not u of t but u of t with some extra value as x. Let's say some extra value x. Then this x is considered as error. I repeat, this x is considered as error, and this error you are getting when? During steady state, and therefore this x error is considered as a steady state error. So x is considered as a steady state error. SSE stands for steady state error. So now we have to study about this steady state error. So as I said, now we have to start with a steady state error analysis. Okay. So this steady state error analysis is again classified in two categories, that is a static error analysis and a dynamic error analysis. So we have two categories to study here. The first category, as I said, as a static error analysis, and the second one that we are going to see, of course, dynamic error analysis. So what is the basic difference between them? What we are going to understand within every category, that is a static category as well as dynamic category. Let me tell you, in static category you will see the coefficients like kp, kv, ka, known as positional error coefficient, velocity error coefficient, or acceleration error coefficients, that is nothing but kp, kv, ka. This is what you are going to study in static error analysis. Of course, if you don't know what is kp, kv, ka, you don't have to really take a load. I'll make you understand what is meant by kp, kv, ka in detail. It is just, I'm just giving you an introduction what you are going to study under category called as a static error analysis. And gate point of view, this topic is very, very important. That is nothing but I'm talking about a static error analysis is very, very important from gate point of view. In every gate paper, you will see this question is asked based on this category, that is a static error analysis. So this is very, very important from gate point of view. So dynamic error analysis is a rare topic. It is very rare topic, but then in other competitive exams like ESE, this is very, very important. So this topic is also important from ESE point of view. To understand the difference between static error and a dynamic error, you have to take the literal meaning of static and dynamic. Am I right? We know that static is something which says literally which remains stationary or which doesn't change, and dynamic is something which is going to change, of course. Am I right? So in this category, whenever you will calculate such coefficients, that is kp, kv, ka, for example I'm talking about kp. So kp, you will see a constant number, so you will always get answer as a number, a constant. Whereas even steady state error, if you calculate in this is also appears to be a number, and number is something which never changes. Suppose for example, if I tell you ess value equal to 2, 2 is what? 2 is constant, it is static, it is something which is not going to change with respect to time. And in dynamic, you will see this ess comes out to be like this: 2 plus t, or you know what, t plus t square plus t cube, something like that, which is nothing but t dependent. When a steady state error you get a t dependent, it means it is something which is going to vary with respect to what? Time. And in that case, since it is varying or it is moving with respect to time, I would say it is nothing but a dynamic error. And since this ess is a fixed number referred to as constant, therefore this type of error that we have is nothing but a static error. I hope you got the meaning of what is meant by static error, what is meant by dynamic error. In next video, what we will understand is a static error, and after that, maybe after two more videos, we will get into dynamic error analysis. And once we finish with this, we will solve problems on both the topics together. Thank you.